It's pretty early. And honestly, I'm a little worried. Because last night it got down to 34 degrees. I was watching the forecast, so I deeply watered my tomato plants, and I covered them with this frost cloth, and so I'm hoping that they didn't get damaged. I'm gonna go ahead and look now. Actually, look, that one looks okay. Looks like it didn't get damaged in any way, which is amazing. This one looks all right. That is encouraging. I was really worried. Seriously, just went to bed with a prayer. Hoping for the best. And yeah, they look okay. So I think I'm gonna leave this cloth on them today. It is breathable, so they should be okay. I mean, they look great. I'm so grateful. I was seriously worried because literally it's the only night out of this entire week that is supposed to be cold like that. So it's been a few days since I showed you guys my plants that they got protected from frost. It's been a few days. The plants were looking great. They did good. They were looking awesome. But honestly, I'm really disappointed. I'm just really disappointed. I'll show you why. So here's our tomato plant. This one actually looks decent. I'm not too worried about this one. It's looking okay. But some of these others, like this one, you see its leaves and it's just so dry, like kind of, I don't know. And it has like this browning. The leaves are turning yellow and drying up. But you can see here how on this leaf, sorry, I'm trying to show you guys. You can see on this leaf how it's like yellow on the tip, but it's green up here. I wasn't sure what was going on with this, but there's a lot of my plants that are like that. It's like this one's like that. This one, the lower leaves are a little bit, but it's doing okay. This one's a lot more. You can kind of see the yellowing. Some of them are really bad. This one looks good on the top here, but on the sides, like on these leaves, like they're just yellowed, and they have kind of some, I don't even know what you want to call that, like, I don't know, brown spots, but I wouldn't call them spots, like this. Yeah, these just look really sad. I'm just really disappointed in them, just because all of them look like that, not just that row, it's all of them. The only thing that I've done different this year that I didn't do last year is I fertilized with the bunny manure. I've been told, and all the research I've done has said that bunny manure is perfectly fine to plant in the hole with your plants, to plant on top of the soil with your plants, and that it's awesome fertilizer for them. And but that's really honestly the only thing that I've done different. And just from talking to people online and looking at pictures online, it looks like that's fertilizer burn, that these plants have fertilizer burn. And so that's really frustrating. So next time, I mean, I've learned a lesson, you know. I've learned that that next time I will probably only try a fertilizer on 1 or 2 plants before I do it on all of them, just to see what the results will be. But yeah, it's really disappointing. I'm hoping that these will be fine. Other people were also saying that I was overwatering. Maybe that was why the tomato plants look like that. I don't think that's the problem, but taking that into consideration, I am watering less, and I don't know. I know this sounds really desperate, but I've even thought about pulling up all these plants and replanting them. But I don't think I'm going to. I'm just gonna let this be a year where I'm learning, and yeah. So on the positive side, we have some yellow squash coming up. So here's one and here's one. I'm gonna have to choose which one I'm going to keep, just because they will get a lot bigger than that. But I'm gonna go ahead and cover these just because of my experience from last year and how that worked out. If you're new to my channel, what had happened last year was I dealt with such bad bugs and wildlife. I actually replanted my garden 3 times last year, and every time the seedling would just barely pop out of the soil, it was already getting eaten, like so fast. And it was towards the middle of my season, and I was hoping to still get some squash. And so I did. I had a seedling pop up out of the ground. And over in the weeds, just right outside of my garden, I noticed a strawberry container. And I just thought, if I could just cover this seedling, then maybe it could survive. And sure enough, so I did. I went ahead and covered it with that strawberry container and just weighed it down. And pretty soon it outgrew the strawberry container, and then it outgrew like bigger containers that I was trying to make work. And it did. It got to a decent size. It never produced, oh my goodness, it never produced fruit. But that's because my season ended. It wasn't quite big enough to produce fruit yet. It was just getting to that stage where it was starting to produce some flowers. And yeah, then it got cold. So unfortunately, we never got any fruit from it, but I learned a lesson. As frustrating as different things are in the garden and discouraging things are, I still love the garden. It's teaching me a lot, and you know, I think that that's what's important, is just taking away the lessons. Even though you might not harvest any fruit, at least you learned something, and at least you have that knowledge for the next year. And so that's what we're doing this year. Again, with these tomato plants, I was so discouraged. I was so frustrated here a day or two ago when I saw what was going on with them, with the tomatoes. I was really frustrated, and a lot of that is because weeding out this whole garden, weeding out this whole area, I did it by hand, and it was a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work for anybody, but being nearly 9 months pregnant, it was really difficult for me physically, and it took a lot out of me, and it actually really affected me for like the next day or two after I had planted, after I had weeded. It had just taken a lot of my energy and a lot out of my body, and that's why I've decided not to weed this section and plant that section. It's because I physically do not feel that I can handle it right now, and I'm okay with that. That's okay. Anyway, it is discouraging. It's really discouraging to have my only plants that are in the garden maybe not doing so well, and maybe not, we might not get any fruit from them. And if we don't, then that's just the lesson that I learned this year about gardening, and we'll take it into next year. I think we'll for sure get some squash, at least from what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing that there's some yellow squash, those 2 yellow squash plants that are coming up. And there's also one little tiny zucchini here. You see him? He's got a little dirt on him. But there he is. I brought out some strawberry containers, and I am gonna cover them because I don't want to happen what happened last year. I haven't noticed the bugs. The bugs aren't as bad this year, but it doesn't hurt to cover these plants. So I'm just going to, this just kind of keeps this in place so it doesn't come off. I'm gonna go cover those yellow squash, and I'm gonna, there's also some beans coming up. On this side, where the garlic is, I had one of my chickens digging here. I don't know how many of the seeds she actually ate, if she ate all of them or if she only ate just that end. But yeah, she was in there digging and I was not happy. So we'll see if we even get any beans off of that row. I think I'm also going to be planting behind me on this last row behind the trellis. There's one more row that I haven't planted, and I wanted to plant some spaghetti squash and maybe a watermelon plant just for fun. Well, I don't know. I'll probably do the spaghetti squash on that end is my guess, and then do the watermelon here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started and just plant these. Right, so we just finished planting everything. I planted in this right here and one over right here. I did watermelon, and then I skipped one, and then I planted here. What did I plant there? A spaghetti squash, and I just went right next door and planted again. They're probably too close together, but this is an experiment garden anyway, so I figured what will it hurt? And then I did a lemon cucumber, and then these are rhubarb plants that I had previously started, and I'm just planting. So I planted one here, there, and again, these are probably all way too close together, and one here and one there. What will it hurt? We'll just plant it and we'll try. We'll just see what happens. Alright, so I know it's really dark out here for you guys, and my camera does not do well in the dark, but I want to come out here while Butterbean is busy with Tillman in the sprinklers. Butterbean is our female duck who's been laying on these eggs. I just wanted to show you guys, me and Kyle were just out here and we were looking at her eggs. So here's her eggs. We candled each one of these, and one is actually starting to pip. Let me see if I can find it. You see right here, kind of where my thumb is? A pip is basically the egg, the chicken side trying to hatch out. Which that would make these a lot further along than what I thought that they were. I thought we still had another week. So only about 3 of these eggs out of this whole nest showed no development, meaning that they're deads, but the rest of them had something in them. If they will hatch, I don't know. If they were alive, I don't know. But there was at least development. So looks like we'll have some baby ducklings, some little ducklings in the next day or two by the looks of the development in these eggs.